Have you ever wondered about the ancient civilizations that once ruled the world? Well, today, let's take a trip back in time and explore the stories of some really old societies. They built impressive cities, created cool stuff, and then, mysteriously, many of them vanished. But here's the catch. We still don't know a lot about where they came from, what they believed, or why they disappeared. In this video, we're going to check out the top 10 ancient civilizations that have left us scratching our heads. If that sounds interesting, let's get right into it. Number 10. Indus Valley Civilization. First up on our list is the Indus Valley Civilization. Picture this. Around 3300 BCE, in what's now India and Pakistan, a group of folks started building their civilization along the Indus River. They made cool cities and traded stuff, leaving behind a mysterious way of writing that we still can't figure out. Despite their fancy cities and smart trading, things took a nosedive around 1300 BCE. We're not entirely sure why. Some folks say it could be because of changes in the environment, or maybe some nomadic tribes decided to crash the party. The bottom line is, the Indus Valley Civilization keeps us guessing, and its impact on South Asia's culture and society still hangs around today. Number 9. Olmec Civilization. Now let's talk about the Olmec Civilization, the ancient society in what's now Mexico from 1200 BCE to 400 BCE. These folks were into giant stone heads and had a unique calendar system. It's like they were the trendsetters for other civilizations. Here's the tricky part. We don't really know much about their beliefs and culture because their writings are a mystery to us. When they suddenly called it quits, we're left with questions. Some say it might be politics, the environment, or just a change in culture. Even though we're still figuring them out, the Olmecs left a lasting impact on the cultures that followed. Number 8. Norte Chico Civilization. At number 8, we have the Norte Chico Civilization, the early birds of the Americas, popping up around 3000 BCE along the coast of modern-day Peru. Now, what's fascinating is they had these big cities, but no defenses, no walls, no weapons. It's like they were going for a peaceful vibe. Around 1800 BCE, things took a turn, and the big question mark is why. Some say it might be because of the weather or running out of resources. Despite the uncertainties, the Norte Chico folks showed us that you don't always need weapons to build a civilization. Number 7. Mochi Civilization. Next up at number 7 is the Mochi Civilization, thriving in modern-day Peru from 100 CE to 800 CE. Picture this. They were all about making awesome things with ceramics, metal, and textiles. They had rulers, religious leaders, and a society that knew how to get things done. Now, when it comes to why they called it quits, that's the million-dollar question. Some say it might be because of the environment. Others think maybe they had some internal drama. Regardless, the Mochi people left behind a legacy of cool art and technology that still wows us today. Number 6. Nox Civilization. Moving on. Let's dive into the Nox Civilization. This civilization resided in what we now call northern Nigeria from 1000 BCE to 300 CE. These folks were into some serious sculpting, creating intricate terracotta sculptures that showed off their skills. Here's the kicker. We're not quite sure about their language or where they came from. It's like they left us a bunch of art, but forgot to tell us their story. When it comes to why they vanished, that's still a head-scratcher. No texts or records have spilled the beans yet. The Nox Civilization might be a bit mysterious, but their art keeps us curious, trying to piece together the puzzle of their ancient culture. Number 5. Ancient Minoans. Number 5 on our list is the Minoans. This civilization was located on the island of Crete around 2000 BCE, even before ancient Greece became famous. Imagine grand palaces, fancy paintings on walls, and clever building designs. That was the Minoans scene. They had this writing called Linear A, but we haven't cracked the code yet. When things started going south, theories range from natural disasters like a volcano eruption to some not-so-friendly visitors. Number 4. Nabateans. Next at number 4, we have the Nabateans, a mysterious civilization that was situated in the Arabian desert from the 4th century BCE to the 1st century CE. Their claim to fame? The jaw-dropping rock-carved city of Petra. Imagine a whole city carved out of rocks. That's Petra for you. These Nabateans had a way of writing, but we've only figured out bits and pieces. When it comes to why they faded away, it's still up in the air. Some folks think trade routes changed. Others blame the Romans for throwing a wrench in the works. Today, Petra stands tall, showing off the Nabateans' knack for amazing architecture, leaving us to wonder about their story. Number 3. Etruscans. Now, let's talk about the Etruscans, in Italy from the 8th to the 2nd century BCE. These guys were all about fancy metalwork, artsy stuff, and had their own language, but we're still figuring out what it all means. As Rome rose to power, the Etruscans gradually faded into the background. We're not exactly sure why, but it probably had something to do with Rome getting too big for its boots. Despite their decline, the Etruscans left a mark, influencing Roman culture. Number 2. Zhou Dynasty. Now, let's travel to ancient China and talk about the Zhou Dynasty. This civilization lived from the 11th century BCE to 256 BCE, making waves after the Shang Dynasty and before the Qin Dynasty. What set them apart? Well, they spread the power around, letting noble families run the show in different regions. These guys were like the brains behind the scenes, coming up with ideas like Confucianism and Taoism. But like any good story, things got a bit messy with the Warring States period. Despite the chaos, their ideas stuck around, shaping China for centuries to come. Number 1. Atlantis. Finally, at number 1, we have the legendary civilization of Atlantis. Now, you've probably heard the whispers about this mysterious island, a place of advanced civilization and mind-blowing technologies that vanished without a trace. The catch? We're not exactly sure if Atlantis was real or just a juicy tale. The story comes from the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, who shared the tale of a mighty civilization that disappeared into the depths of the ocean. But here's the deal. No one has found concrete evidence of Atlantis yet. Was Atlantis a real deal or just a fascinating myth? That's the million-dollar question. Despite countless theories and searches, the elusive Atlantis keeps its secrets, leaving us to wonder if it's hiding somewhere in the depths of the sea or just floating in the realm of ancient imagination. And there you have it, a journey through the mysteries of some ancient civilizations. If you enjoyed this adventure through the annals of history, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring that notification bell. Thanks for tuning in, and until the next exploration, stay curious.